Shalom, everyone. Today is Yom Chamishi, Thursday, so we're going to learn the Haftorah from this week's Torah reading. As we've said many times, the Haftorah is a part that was added on by the rabbis to be said in synagogue. At that time, it was in place of the Torah because the Romans or wherever it was, they wouldn't let the Jews read the regular Torah portion. They would go and send policemen around to this. So the Jews, they would read the part, they would free from the Haftorah. They would read in public, they would read the Haftorah. And the regular Torah, they would read in secret or whatever it was, but in the rest of the week. But on Shabbat or in meetings, so they would read the Haftarah. And it remained even after the decree was rescinded and the Jews were allowed to read again from the Torah. They always had Torah scrolls, but they didn't want them to read in public. Okay, so this is what we have after the regular Torah reading. There's always read a part from the prophets or sometimes from different writings, like sometimes from the book of Samuel, from the book of Kings. So here we go. The words of Yirmiyahu. This is the beginning of the prophecy of Jeremiah. Now Jeremiah was, he had a bad life. He had a really terrible life. When he was very young, as God came to him, this is the beginning of the book of Jeremiah. God told him to prophesy to the Jews. And you'll see here, God is telling him, nobody's going to listen to you. And your life is going to be in great danger, but don't worry, I'm going to be with you all the time. At that time, this was near the end of the first temple. He prophesied near the end of the first temple. And in fact, he witnessed the destruction of the first temple. He wrote the book Lamentations on the destruction of the first temple. And the nation of Israel, the 10 tribes, that had been destroyed like 100, 150 years earlier. And now there was only left Yehuda with the Holy Temple, and they misused the Holy Temple. And they worshiped idols. They did all sorts of crazy things. But strangely enough, they thought that they were okay. They thought that, they were, the Holy Temple was the temple of God. And especially because he lived right in his time, he was in the time of Yoash, King Yoash, that he improved the temple. He rebuilt it and he improved it. So he figured things were going okay. Everyone figured things were going okay, and they could continue worshiping idols and do all sorts of bizarre things. And God told him to tell the Jewish people that they have to stop doing idolatry. There was also another very shameful thing, and that was there were a lot of false prophets. A lot of false prophets. There were prophets that stood up and they knew how to speak and they were very impressive. And they said, listen to the word of the Lord. The temple will stand forever. The non-Jews will give you their riches. And everybody's pretty happy to hear that. But it was not true. So comes along Jeremiah, and he speaks the truth, but nobody wants to listen to him. So here we go. Divrei Yirmiyahu, the words of Jeremiah. Ben Chilkiyahu, the son of Chilkiyahu, Mina Kohanim, he was a Kohen, Asher Banatot, in the land of Benjamin and Yehuda, that was in the southern part of Israel where the temple stood. Asher Yadavar Hashem, I love that the word of God was in B'yamei Yeshayahu, in the time of Yeshayahu, Ben Amon Melech Yehuda, the king of Judah. And Yeshayahu, he's the one that's going to hide the ark underneath. B'shloshes Reshana b'l Malchon, in the 13th year of his kingship, Vayihi b'yamei Yoyakim, in the days of Yehoyakim Melech Yehuda. That's the king that sort of fixed up the Holy Temple a little bit. Ad Tom Ashtei Asar Shana, the Tzidkiyahu Melech Yeshayahu. Tzidkiyahu, that was the last king of Yeshayahu, the son of Mishayahu, the king of Yehuda, until the exile of the Jews in the 5th month. 5th month, that's the month of Av. That's going to come now. That's the next month. Vayehi Davar Hashem Alai, and the word of God was on me, saying, before you were formed, bebeten, in the womb, Yadatich, I knew you. Your soul was already picked by me. Before you came out of the womb, before you were actually born, I already sanctified you. In other words, Yirmiyahu, the prophet Jeremiah, Yirmiyahu, rightfully understood that the situation was lost and that it was pointless to prophesize and tell these Jews to turn from their evil ways. So he would refuse. So God said, I know what you're thinking, but you should know that that's what you've been born for. Navi legoyim nasaticha. I have made you a prophet for all the nations. You'll see why the nations, because in the end, he says a prophecy that no matter how much bad the Jews do, God is always going to love them and he'll redeem them. But Omar, but I said, Aha, Adon Noy Hashem. But please, like, behold, God, Hine lo yadati davar. I don't know anything. Ki nara anochi. I'm just a young boy. He was like 16 years old, 15 years old. Vayomer Hashem, like God said to me, Al tomar nara. Don't say that you're just a child. Ki al kol asher ashlachticha ashlachacha. Everything that I send you, telech, you're going to go. That call asher atzaveh, whatever I command you to say, you're going to say. Al tiran, don't be afraid, mifaneim. You're right, they're going to be a big danger to you. In the end, they threw him into a pit, they threw him into mud, they almost killed him. But don't be afraid, because I'm with you. Latzilcha, and I will save you from them. In other words, you're going to be in trouble, but I'll save you. Vayishlach Hashem et yado, God put his hand forward, vayigal pi, and he touched my mouth. Vayomer Hashem alai, and God said to me, I put my words in your mouth. See, I have given you on this day, on the non-Jews, and all the nations, to like destroy and to wreck, labid, to get rid of, laharos, and to, another word to destroy, and to build, and to plant. In other words, he's going to say now all the nations, especially the Babylonians, they were ruling at that time, they are going to come from all over the place and they're going to destroy the Jews. But don't worry about it. In the end, I'm giving a message of hope. And God spoke to me and he said, Ma ata Yirmiyahu. What do you see, Jeremiah? This is what we learned. Remember, we learned this in the morning from this speech of the Rebbe. And I said, God showed me a vision. So what do you see? So I said, Makal Shaked Anirah. I see a staff from from an almond tree. I see a staff. And the Rebbe asks, remember we learned in the morning, why does the staff, why didn't you show him almonds? Why? And we haven't answered that. Tomorrow we'll answer it, tomorrow morning. God showed me this vision of a staff from an almond tree. Vayomer Hashem Elai, and God said to me, he said, what do you see? I say, a staff from an almond tree. He said, Vayomer Hashem Elai, God said to me, Hey Tavtra, you saw very well. Ki shakad, ani, the word shaked means almonds, but the word shaked also means I'm going to be like, how do you say, continuous and very swift. And you say, there must be a good word for it in English. I couldn't think of it this morning either. I looked in the translation. It seems that he couldn't think of it either, but there's some word in the back of my mind. Anyway, God's saying, I'm going to be quick and I'm going to be concentrated and I'm going to do what I'm saying now with nothing is going to interrupt me. La Soto, to do it. What's it going to be? You're going to see. Vayihi davar Hashem alai, and God, the word of God was on me again. And he said, Matot, what do you see now? Omar, and I said, Sir nafuach hanira. I see a bubbling big pot that's bubbling. Upanav lifnei tzafona, and it's pointing toward the north. Vayomer Hashem alai, God said to me, Mitzafon tefatach tifatach hara. From the north will open up evil. The north that was Babylon. I'll call Yishvei Oretz, to all of the populace of Eretz Israel. I mean, all the Jewish, the whole entire population was taken into prison. Because behold, I, Korei L'kol Mishpachot Mamlachot Safona, I call all of the families and all of the non-Jews from the north, Noam Hashem, Obo, and they will come. Nanatnu ish kiso petach shari Yerushalayim, and each one of these leaders and mayors and whatever it is, they'll all come and put their thrones and their chairs and the gates of Jerusalem. I'll call Chomotah Saviv, and I'll round all of the walls. I'll call Arei Yehuda, and on all of the cities of Yehuda. V'dibarti mishpatai otam, and I spoke my words with them. I'll call Ra'atam, and all the bad Asher, because Azavuni, because this is God speaking, because they have left me. Jewish people, fools, they saw what happened to the 10 northern tribes because they worshipped idols. And they, instead of taking a lesson and saying, well, we better not do the same thing, they thought, oh, look, they got punished, but we didn't. So, we're going to get out of this. And they offered up incense to all sorts of other gods. And they bowed down the Maisiyadam to their own handiwork. And now, says God to Jeremiah, Tazor matnacha, gird up your loins. In other words, get ready. V'kamta v'dibarta aleim, and speak to them. But this is right in the beginning of the book of Jeremiah. Right in the book of Jeremiah. How many chapters are there in the book of Jeremiah altogether? I will tell you in one moment. I will tell you there are 51, 52. 52 chapters in Jeremiah. 52 chapters in Jeremiah. It ends with the exile when Nebuchadnezzar. So this is this is right at the beginning. There's 52 more chapters. Because behold, Koreh l'kol mishpachot mamlachot safona, I am calling to all of the families and all of the kingships from the north, from Babylon. Ubo v'notnu ish kiso petach shari Yerushalayim al chomot saviv, on the walls and on the cities of Jerusalem. Yehuda, we just said that. V'dibarti mishpatai, and I will say my laws with them. I'll call Rotam, with the Jews. I will bring my judgment, mishpati, because all the bad that they did, and they sacrificed all sorts of other gods, and they bowed down to their handiwork, their own handiwork. Jews. V'ata, now tazor matnacha v'kamta, and go. Dibarti, speak to the Jews. Et kol anishim it's aveko, everything that I told you. Al teichat mipenayim, don't be afraid. Pen achiticha, because if you're afraid of them, then maybe I'll let them do what they want to you. Don't be afraid. You have to do your part. I'm going to save you. I'll do miracles for you, Jeremiah. But your job is to say what I want, and don't be afraid. Okay, now a person could normally ask, what does he got to tell them? What does Jeremiah have to tell the Jewish people for? You're all going to get killed, and you're going to be taken to prisoner. So, what's the point? What's he tell them to do? To run away? So first of all, like I said before, there were all these false prophets that were saying that it's not going to happen. You can continue sinning. But here, God already prophesied all these bad is going to happen. So what good does it do? So there's a general principle in prophecy, and that is that if a prophet comes and says that something good is going to happen, then either that good thing happens, or it's a sign that he's not a prophet. Because true prophecy, if it's good, then it always happens. And that's what's wrong with all these false prophecies. We're saying all these good things are going to happen, and it didn't happen. But if God prophesies a bad thing, it doesn't necessarily have to happen. Because a bad thing, it depends on the Jews' bad actions. And so because of the Jews' bad actions, as if they repent, then it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. On the other hand, if God prophesies something good and the Jews decide to do bad, nevertheless, the good is going to come. But the Jews won't be able to appreciate it because their eyes are not in that direction. Okay. Says God to Jeremiah, I have given you as a sanctuary city, a fortress. V'lamod barzel, and like a pillar of iron, v'lachomot nechoshech, and walls of copper. I'll call oretz to the whole world. In other words, no one's going to hurt you. Lamalke Yehuda l'sarel, to the kings of Judah, Yehuda, and all the ministers and the priests and all the people of Israel. V'nilchamu elecha, and all of them are going to war against you. All the Jews are going to oppose you. But they won't be able to defeat you. Because I am with you. Nu'um Hashem, I am with you, says God. I'm going to save you, period. Okay, that's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. We'll see the end. We haven't finished the Haftorah yet. And the word of God came to me again and said, Holoch, go, Yerushalayim, and call out in the to the ears of the people of Jerusalem and say like this. This is what you say. God is telling Jeremiah, walk through the streets and say like this. Start screaming out, yelling out. Ko Amar Hashem, so says God. Zacharti la chesed norayach. I remember the kindness of the, how do you say, the love, norayach, of your youth. Who's he talking about? The Jewish people. God says, listen, the fact is that I love you. I love you. Ahavat klulotayach, the love of, like the wedding. Like you are my bride, my new bride. You were going to the wedding day. When God gave the Torah, that was God's wedding day. How I loved you before the wedding. Lechtach achara, you went after me in the desert, in the desert. The Eretz Lo Zerua, and a place which was desolate. You Jews, you were willing to go anywhere for me, right? I knew you had it in you. I love you. Kodesh Yisrael Hashem, Jewish people, you are holy to God. Reishi Tevuato, you are my first produce. Call Ochlav, anyone that tries to destroy you. Yashamu, anyone that tries to destroy the Jews, even though they deserve it. Anybody, but Babylon and all these people, they do bad things to the Jews. Yashamu, they'll be guilty. Ra'at tavo alehem, and bad will occur to them. Nu'um Hashem, says God. Okay, so we're waiting for it to happen with the church and with all these people, but we'll see. Nevertheless, anyone who tries actively to hurt the Jews, says God, you better not do it, because it's true. You know, it's like a father that gets mad at his son, so he kicks him out of the house. But anybody that comes and beats him up in the street, so the father gets mad at him. What are you beating up my son for? You kicked him out. He says, yeah, but that's my business in him. That's not your business. It's not your business. And that is the end of this Haftorah. God loves the Jews unconditionally, no matter what they do. But he's just waiting for them to want his love. To want his love. But he'll never give up. He'll never give up. And that's the idea of Mashiach. Mashiach is going to turn everyone around, all the Jews, without exception, to the creator of the universe. They'll all go back to do Torah and the commandments, and the land of Israel will be holy. There won't be any of this idolatry. They'll kick out all these missionaries and all these LGBT weirdos. There won't be any more decadence. And there won't be any more enemies, murderers, right? The three things that Jews are supposed to give their lives for, rather than do, the government of Israel willfully and happily does, right? They invite all this idolatry and this decadence and things like that in the land of Israel, but it's all going to be different. The Jewish people are going to all turn to the creator of the universe. I mean, what do they get from all this stuff anyway? It's just, they don't get any benefit from it anyway. And it says, God, I'm just waiting for you to return back to me. I always remember what the Jews are. I took you out of Egypt for absolutely no reason. You didn't do anything to deserve it. And also the future redemption is going to be on the same conditions. Total, unbounded, unconditional love of God to the Jews. All right, now let's learn a little bit more about the tabernacle. Let's see if we can do it 1 second.